and welcome everybody to another lovely version of 3 Points of Light with me, Darlene, Brian, the man in the middle. Say hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
And the ever lovely Jennifer.
Hello, everybody.
We keep Brian sandwiched in the middle so we keep him under control. And our awesome guest tonight is Vicki-Johns. Now, I don't know, there's a few people here who know Vicki. Let me ramble on what I know about Vicki. She's a mother. She's a sister. She's a grandma. And I take that back. She's a Meemaw.
No, I'm a Mimi.
A Mimi, sorry. Okay, she's a Mimi. Mimi. She's a medium. She's an awesome at meditation because you studied under Jose Silva.
I did.
You are a mega friend to so many people. You are a great mentor to certain people at Paramania Radio. And you are an amazing host of 2 shows. One is a co-host of 2 shows. One is was it Behind the Open Door?
Mm-hmm. Wednesday night with Maggie Renee.
Exactly. And the other show, if you just give me 2 seconds, I'll get up what I want.
Beyond the Stars.
There you go. Beyond the Stars with vicki-johns, Sherry Gamble, and Jen Young.
And Jen Young.
Jen Young. Yeah. And
but I am not, nor have I ever been a nun. I don't even aspire to that.
A nun?
Somebody wrote that in the chat.
That would be Glennis. Glennis, do you have something to tell us about Vicki that we don't know?
There's a lot of things that I have none of, but no.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yes, Brian, in answer to that question you're thinking about, and it was great.
Okay.
Well, I guess on radio it doesn't play very well unless you actually ask questions, does it?
No, we have to have questions. Okay, so Jennifer and I are going to hush, and we're going to let Brian take the lead. Take it away, Brian.
I'm saying nothing at all, and the fact that I've been muted, so I'll be careful. Anyway, Vicki, really good to have you on the show, sweetheart.
Thank you.
We have been friends for a long time, and
we have.
Poor Vicki.
And who said that?
That would be Norlene.
And obviously, just as a starter, how did you get started even going to Jose's classes? I mean, you must have had quite an experience from when you was a child, so give us a clue.
I was a psychic medium. I guess I was born that way. I've always seen spirit. I've always done this. And when I was trying to think, I was still in middle school. I was 15, right before high school. I went to a progressive church. It was a Nazarene church, and the youth minister there started seeing the value of what this Jose Silva program did, where he was trying to teach his children memory techniques to improve their schoolwork. So he got it approved for us to go. And unbeknownst to the church elders, we all the kids in the class went, and there were a few of us that stayed. It didn't last long once the church found out that it was called mind control, which has sort of a derogatory meaning, but what it was is everything based on his theory that your mind controls your destiny, your mind controls your life. You can teach your mind to focus on things you want and achieve them. You can teach your mind to remember things and excel. And you can pull your mind back and focus. So I really didn't study meditation per se under Jose Silva, although meditation was one of the ways he taught us to do these things. What I studied was how to control my mind and how to use it and expand it. There were so many things that he taught us how to use our minds for healing, to take the energy from the Creator and from the universe and to focus it on whatever injury or illness a person had and to promote healing. He taught us how to use the mind control to excel in things like schoolwork. Schoolwork is 99% memory, is it not? If you can remember what they're telling you, it really doesn't matter if you understand it, if you remember it, and you can excel and make excellent grades, which I did. And he also taught us to use meditation to achieve those things, to focus on them and to do our memory exercises. And it was basically from 8 a.m. until we went home at 6 every day. It was all of these exercises and activities. It was transcendental meditation. It was remote viewing. Anything that you can think of that is about metaphysics, paranormal, anything that people are doing, the New Age religions, things like that, he taught back in the 70s. And so from 70 to 73, I studied under him. And there were a few people that had, he taught us that everybody's born with special gifts, that we have what we contracted to have when we come into this plane. And some of us have things that we contracted for that are different. And I was one of the people that he said was different. So he worked with me in other areas. He worked with me in communication with spirit, communication and bringing my guides more into it. I had my guide from when I was a child, and I still have him, but he taught me how to utilize other guides and how to call forth angels and ask for assistance, how to keep spirit in control so that I was controlling my life and not spirit controlling it. Because up until then, if something came to me, I would listen and go deliver the message or communicate. But if I was busy, sometimes I would get interrupted, or, mealtime was horrible because, you're really grounded when you're eating good food. And that's when spirit would come to me, and it would always interrupt. It would interrupt my sleep. And so he trained me how to keep that from happening. So I studied under him, and one of the things I learned was meditation. But there's so many things, so many more things I couldn't even tell you. He was an amazing person.
I've read all of his book probably 3-4 times, and I have found that, in all honesty, there's so much in there that you don't realise is there until you read it through again.
Right.
It's a fantastic book. I would encourage anybody to read it. I don't know if it's still available, but I know I got my almost from.
I don't know. I know that each time you read, whatever situation you're in at the time, you'll find answers to, and you can read it the very next day and find different answers.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. It's just beyond. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. One thing I did learn, which I thought was really, really good, was the remote viewing side, because he teaches you when you go down in your meditation. I mean, I've done I've done the other type of meditation, which is the Buddhist style transcendental meditation. But he goes even further than the Buddhists do, and that really, really made all the difference to me, because then it opened up my mind to more things that are going on. And this I thought was really, really important, like putting your mind inside things. And after a while, that putting your mind in there becomes a reality. And,
right. Well, transcendental meditation in and of itself is you actually traveling. And he believed everything's energy, which it is, and that if that's true, then energy can move about, and it can be in New Mexico 1 minute and California another. And so if that's true, then it's very possible. And the remote viewing, we practiced all of these things, so it's all possible. I've done it all. It all is true. Read the books. I encourage you to read the books, study, and practice. Because it's for sure that you can do it.
That's it.
I'm no one, and I can do it, so you can do it too.
You are not
the same as me.
Well, I mean, I'm not anything special above anybody else. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I think the important thing we were trying to get across was the fact that if people teach their children or their grandchildren, meditation right from the start, it would help so much in the rest of their life. And,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a really important.
I've used it. My children both, when I adopted them, had extreme attention deficit disorder, the high def. I always call it ADHD, but it was the high def version where they were extremely active, extremely hyperactive. Not eating sugar didn't do it. Not taking medication didn't change it. So we practiced the methods, and it always worked. And I taught them both to play the game. Playing the game is doing what is expected of you from society, from your peers, so that you succeed. And when you come home, then you're yourself. And that's basically what he taught me. I had a whole life of ridicule because 90% of the time when I was supposed to be paying attention in class, I was watching spirit walk around and listening to them and listening to my guide. And my guide was wonderful. He would sit and tell me things and the most amazing things and about traveling and stuff. And I was supposed to be learning algebra or something. I'm here to tell you I'm 61 and I haven't used algebra yet. But for some it's important. So, you need to do that. And of course you could do that focusing. But I had, I guess, extreme attention deficit disorder. But I also was very, attuned to spirit. I had a hard time concentrating. So he taught me to play the game in school. And I went from making very low grades to very high grades and did very well then on into college studies and things that I pursued in life because he taught me to play the game. And when I told my son about it, for a child, a young child, it's like a secret thing you get to do with your parent. And who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to play a trick on the teacher and play the game? Because you're a little bit smarter than she is and you know a little bit more. So let's let her think she's winning so that you can succeed. And then when you come home, you can do what you want. And that's how we got through school. Now I have 4 grandchildren, little carbon copies of their father. And they all meditate and they all play the game. So it's just, yeah.
Vicki, I have a question for you. It was in the chat room. What do you think about the idea of, I know I've seen it on Facebook that there are a few schools that do it, but teaching meditation in schools?
I think it's amazing. I've actually started writing a program. I'm going to approach the school district in my area this next school year to see if I can't work it somehow into their curriculum for elementary kids on up through high school. But to start with elementary, I think we'd have a lot less violence. A lot more people who paid attention and who respected each other for who they really are, not who they appear to be. I think it would be tremendous. I think teaching children to harness all that energy and focus it, and once you focus it and put it in on something that you're focused on, you're just going to explode, aren't you? I mean, it would be a tremendous help. And the younger they are when you teach them, then they use it their whole life.
But it does bring you peace, doesn't it? It's one of the main things I've found by going into the meditation or meditative state. You can control everything that goes on in your mind, so you don't worry about what other people are doing. You don't worry about the things that are happening around you. You tend to more concentrate on the things that should be and the things that are good for you. And I think this is the biggest thing that I've come across.
Well, in people's whole mindset, I like to try to change their mindset about these kids that are so hyperactive. When you've got a child with ADHD, you've got a child that's above average intelligence. It's noted. I mean, Einstein had ADHD. There's a whole bunch of people that were inventors that had ADHD. So you're looking at a human being that self-motivates, doesn't need to be prodded. They're going to be self-starters in jobs. They're going to be the first ones that think of the answers. Who wouldn't want to hire that? They're also going to be the people that are overachievers in physical labor. I mean, they don't get tired like the other kids do. They keep going. My mother always said I was like the Energizer Bunny. I kept going and going and going and going, and that's how my grandchildren are. And it's funny that I adopted both of my children, and they're both just like me. It's so funny. But, it's sort of God's little sense of humor, is it not? But, you look at that and you think about it as an employer of an adult like that, who doesn't want somebody that's motivated and self-starter and has high energy? I mean, those are like ideal employees. So why as a society do we put children down in school and call them slow learners or with disabilities because they have ADHD? We should be promoting that. We should be pushing that.
As long as you know how to, as long as you know how to focus them, which a lot of schools and a lot of teachers don't. Sorry, Brian, I'm getting into here. If they just take the time, because I remember when my son was young, my middle son, oldest son, whatever, they kept saying, "Oh, he's hyperactive and he's da-da-da." I said, "No, you're boring the poor boy to tears."
And that's true
when
too.
You give him something, if you expect a child to sit there for however many hours of school a day and just sit and listen, they kind of go into la-la land. Majority of the children will go into la-la land. My son, when you allowed him, both my sons actually, when you allowed them to get their hands involved in it and get moving, get them to do something, they were like, yeah. That's when they excelled.
Well, school as we know it today in the next 10 years is going to be totally different because you've got all these crystal children that are being born right now that are going to come on as what I call the third wave after the two waves of indigo children have uncovered all the untruths and then kicked them out and destroyed them. Then you're going to have the crystal children rebuilding, and the education system. These kids, the indigo children and the crystal children, learn too fast. Regular public schools are never going to be able to meet their needs. We're going to be looking at more technical type schools where they utilize computers more, technology more, and you're going to see more kids learning by getting outside into nature and actually moving things and using energy. And so when that occurs, nothing's going to look like it looks now. I know that by the time my grandchildren graduate high school, that there's not going to be classrooms like there are now. It's all going to be different. They're going to be moving so quickly. Our children already learn so much quicker than we did. Teachers are not going to be able to keep up.
We need to make sure we get some ADHD teachers.
Well, it's not even that. It's teachers that know how to talk to them and how to let them learn at the fast, accelerated process and give them the information they need and get them outside.
Yeah.
It's not even so much about computers. It's about moving them outside.
Yeah, because right now, schools, especially here in Canada, schools are cutting out music. They're cutting out phys ed.
That's all going to be coming back.
I remember when I went to school, we had home ec. Kids can't even cook. We had home ec. We had. I'm
sorry, I had an unfortunate experience in homemaking. My teacher had a nervous breakdown. I'm pretty sure I was part of that and had to retire. I sewed the zipper of a dress inside out, so you had to reach up under the dress and zip it up. I was a little bit
fun,
unfocused.
That's when you tie a string to the zipper and zip it up.
I was horrible.
As a guy said to me once, you should never try to teach children. You should show them how to learn for themselves. And that was the most important thing I heard, because it's no good trying to pump in. I mean, I went through all the stuff at school, as you just said, Vicky. All the algebra, geometry, trigonometry, logarithms, bilogarithms, all that crap. And since I left school, I have used none of it. Absolutely none of it. And it's just a total waste of really time and energy. So why can't they put children into the things that suit those children?
Well, and remove all of the labels that they put around. I know I had a girl, I think you'll remember, Diane, Darlene, the girl that lived with me a few years ago, Amy, came to live with me. She lived with me a little over a year, and she was in high school. She was in her second year of high school. She had 2 more years after the one we were in, and she didn't like it. She did not like it. And the whole idea of going from class to class to class, and it was suffocating her. So we looked at alternative schools, and there was a school in our district that took kids, and I found out later, it was for kids that were in trouble. So it was run like a boot camp. But the other flip side of that was also is for girls that had been bad. They were labeled bad girls because they were all pregnant. And so they were trying to accelerate them on out of school, and most of them were seniors. But we started looking at the program, and it would take you from where Amy was out of high school. She could graduate and be totally out of school in 1 year versus 2.5 years that she was currently working on. So we signed her up. And she went, and everybody kept waiting for her to show. She wasn't pregnant. We just put her there, and she went through all of this school, got out, graduated 1.5 years early, and went on to college. So, taking college courses now. So, I mean, it does work. You've got to let kids grow at their own pace.
Yeah, exactly. Eric in the chat room. Eric in the chat room said, for 3 years, I went to a small school in Scotland. All the other kids were going to be farmers. I didn't learn about trigonometry, but knew when the corn was ripe and how to navigate by the sun. Most important 3 years of my life.
Well, there you go.
See? We got a full house today.
It is?
Yeah. All we gotta say is Vicky's coming. It's like people packing in.
No. I think it was just that everybody wanted to come in and have something to do on Sunday night.
They always have something to do. If it's not here, it's over at Paramania, my other place, my other home. But yeah.
There's so much so that children do pick up, and they'll pick up the things that they're interested in, things you want to retro. Whereas if they was to work on the assumption that if they're interested in it, they will become super at it, then I think this is the way that, as you say, the crystal children will bring that in, and it will be to the advantage of it.
Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
No.
I think we lost.
No,
Brian?
he's still there. He's having.
I thought for a minute I'd been muted again.
No, I didn't mute you. I swear to God. Not this show. Not yet. I haven't been here.
Oh, gosh.
No, it's learning in itself is it's a very individual thing. And as I say, we learn so much. I mean, even at my age, I still learn every day. So.
Well, and you learn too when you raise your children, and we just need to change how we think about labels. We need to change what we think about what a classroom should be and how kids should learn. The kids will tell you. All you have to do is listen to them.
Yeah. That old age. Yes, and it's that old age. I'm a lot older than all you lot probably put together up there. That's how it goes.
He's the grandpa of the group. That's why we keep him around.
Just means I've been there and done that more times than you lot have. Made more mistakes.
Okay, we're not going to go comparing ages. We're going to leave Brian as the old fart.
Notice how quiet I got? We're not going to talk age.
You said it before, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about it, though.
You're 16.
Yes, you reverse those, yeah.
Yes, 16.
My daughter keeps telling me, Mom, aren't you like 38 or 39? I'm like, yes. And then the other day she said, you do know I know how old you are. And I was like, yes. You're almost as old as me when you say I'm 38. She's 20 now and will be 21. I said, it's getting kind of silly and ridiculous that you keep saying I'm 38. Soon it'll be like, you can be my mom.
There you go. That's a question. Being the mom that you are and the abilities that you have, what do your children are your adopted children, which makes no difference. But
right.
What do your children think of having a mom who is a medium?
Well, my children love it because my son Cody started exhibiting hearing spirit when he was about 5 years old. He's a medium. He doesn't practice, no, but he does hear them. He'll call me every now and then and say, I heard this. What do I do with this? He doesn't give messages, but he does hear spirit, and he doesn't see spirit. He hears spirit, but he hears it, and he has a clear, open channel. My daughter is, she's sort of kind of amazing. She was in the first wave of Indigo. She is a psychic medium. She can do everything I can do and 10 times more and 10 times faster. She has far excelled me as a teacher. I mean, she's amazing. She uses it in her, she is a sophomore at Texas Tech University here. In January, she will start her junior year. So we kind of lost a little bit of a semester in last February when my mom passed away. It kind of affected both of us negatively. And so we took a little time out during the summer, and she's regrouped and back at school doing great. But she uses her abilities every day, and she gives messages sometimes, and she's pretty amazing. She doesn't read cards. She doesn't use tools like I do. I started using tools in the last 5 years. I started using angel cards, tarot. That's about all I use right now, but she does amazing readings. She's very open to spirit. So I'm thinking she probably thinks it's pretty cool that I do what I do, because unlike me growing up where my grandmother was psychic and did all of her stuff, and my aunt was a psychic medium and gave readings, and my mother just wanted to hide it. So I never could do what I did when I was young. I was just told, don't tell anybody. So I think she thinks it's kind of cool that she doesn't have to hide anything, and she's free to be who she wants to be.
I think that is very important. Being what you think you should be. My family were all office workers and business owners and God knows what else. And when I came along, I was classified as the dirty hands brigade, because I like tearing engines apart and sewing machines apart and anything like that to do with my hands, which was not accepted by my family in any way at all. So consequently, I became the black sheep. But I stuck to it. I've done all my time. Learned plenty and have taught many. So I think I succeeded in my ambition.
You know, and you've got to watch your children. I got Whitney when she was 17 months old, and I remember driving down the street in a car with her, and she was very used to me seeing spirit, and all of a sudden I started noticing her noticing things. Like when a spirit would approach me, long before they got to me and started talking, she'd say, Mama, who's that? And things like that. So you watch your children, they'll tell you. And then my very favorite story, and I know you've probably heard this before, but it's still my favorite story. She was about 5 or 6 years old, and I had been having problems with my eye, and I kept seeing stars out of the corner. It's probably my blood pressure, the eye pressure. I need to go to the eye doctor. But I was saying, I was driving, and as I was driving down the street, I kept grabbing my eye, and she goes, your eye hurt? And I said, I'm seeing flashing a star out of the corner of my eye. And not even missing a beat, she leaned over and said, who is it? Not, are you okay? What is it? But who is it?
Who is it?
And I looked at her and I thought, well, aren't you a little smarty pants? And I said, no, this is actually, my eye. This is not a spirit. But you just know. She's telling you somebody's coming, and you look up and there they are.
That's awesome.
So, and that was when she was like 3 and 4, and then she did the little car thing. I think she was 5 years old, because I'm pretty sure we had been to pick her up at school, and she was in kindergarten. So both of my kids are they're pretty cool with what I do.
Mom? Okay.
Yeah, they are.
They like Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Glennis in the chat room says, one of my great-grandchildren was telling her mother about a conversation with a man who was her friend. She was 4 years old and talking to a man who loved her mother and died by his own hand before the children were even conceived.
Yep.
And I'm guessing there's more to it, but...
So, and don't ever tell your kids, stop, you're imagining it.
Yeah.
Because they're probably not. Eric says in our family, when we're all around the table, no one talks and everyone laughs. I like that.
Yeah, I like
Don't
that.
Don't you find it quite annoying at times though when, like, when I was much younger, if I started to get thoughts coming through, or even I used to do a lot of remote viewing, and people would come up and say, come on, concentrate, bang, 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 do this, do that, and you're sort of broken out of that train of thought, and it really, really does upset you. But I think that's another thing we should watch with children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think also what I like about us now is, yes, my children are grown, and Vicki, your children are grown, but you have grandchildren. We have children, little ones around us, and it's fun to watch them to watch them grow, and to watch them not have to, like, somebody where I work. Somebody once came in with their child, and child said that they were talking to their little friend. It was a stuffed toy, and the mother goes, "Oh, they'll grow out of it." I said, "Yes, but if you make her grow out of it, she'll still grow out of it. But if you allow her, she will continue." And I was like, "Why would I want her to continue?" I said, "Because more than likely, the little doll that she's talking to is an angel or a spirit or a guide, but she just, because it would look weird, because you may have said something. Who are you talking to? There's nobody there."
Mm-hmm.
And the woman sort of stopped, and like, she didn't say anything, but you could see the look in her eye, kind of going, "Okay, been there, done that,"
Mm-hmm.
So I said, so that she can still talk to her friend, she makes it the little stuffed toy that she carries around all the time. And I said, "I bet you that's the same toy she carries everywhere with her." And she goes, "Yeah." I said, children don't carry one specific toy around just 'cause. There's a connection there. There's something there. So I said, you just have to allow them. And it's like, oh, okay, good idea.
Yeah, but to a person, even a young person, you get something that's happening inside your head. You think that everybody does that. You think that everybody has the same sort of feelings that you do, but you're not. It's different. The things I used to pick up all the time were hundreds of voices going on all of the time, and I got so used to that it was beyond belief. But going into a shopping centre was really bad. Had to really control myself and contain it. And I realised this is how I am now, is how everybody else is. They don't hear all those voices. So you've got to realise that every child is an individual, and let them grow up, let them do their thing. Yeah, good night, Eric.
Night, Eric. I'm waving here. Like, this doesn't really... Can you tell I'm normally on camera? I'm waving.
Every child is an individual, and we've got to look at all of the time. I mean, I've got many grandchildren, and one in particular, is definitely in the autism range, and you could never get through to him until one day I sat down and just literally let him talk to me. And the things I found out about him were just beyond belief. And he will be much the same as a lot of people around us are, really intuitive. And this is where he's getting most of his thoughts from. They're coming in from other people, other things.
Interesting.
Oh, it is. Children, I mean, they're the most important thing in the world. They really are.
They are our future. They are what we...
Well, don't tell them that.
Okay. It's okay, children never listen to me when I talk anyway, so neither do grown-ups, right, Brian?
Yes.
See?
You don't listen to me, do you?
Sorry, I thought I heard something. It's probably my headset, I guess. I don't know. Sorry.
I've got two daughters that are younger than you, dear, or older than you, whichever.
I never said I was your daughter. I made sure of that one. Vicki, when did you start? When did you start professionally doing your mediumship?
I don't know. I'm still waiting for that big break.
Well, you're on 3 Points of Light. This is
Professionally would require that I'm getting paid for appearances and readings, and Spirit has made it possible for me to live a very comfortable life without charging. So when I get messages, give them. And I do the radio shows because they're just a blast to do.
Well, to me, I consider it professionally. To me, doesn't mean you're getting paid for it. Professionally means to me that you're doing it for more than just yourself and your family. You're doing it for friends and like you said, the radio, which you do, and you're always,
that would be when I was 4.5 years old, when I told my grandma where she had put her Social Security check absent-mindedly that she was looking for. She had put it in with her folded underwear in the underwear drawer.
Okay, next time I'm looking for something, I'm calling you. Like, hey, where'd that go?
That was my first public appearance.
It's a brilliant thing what most of the guys around us have, all the different attributes, and there's none of them actually, sing about it or boast about it, or they just do it and carry on. And
because we're just messengers, Waitress in the banquet of life.
Ooh, I like that one. Waitress in the banquet of life. Well, we're coming up onto the bottom of the top of the bottom. I don't know, at the end of the first.
Oh my!
We don't get musical breaks because we don't have an amazing Dr. Dave or an outstanding.
And you can't have ours.
No, we're leaving him over there. I have, and I could go nuts if Dave was here. He would kill me. I make more mistakes over here than I do over there. So if you want to break, just give us a shout. Let us know. Would you be willing to take questions from the chat room or have people mic up and ask you questions, either for readings or just questions in general?
I don't mind doing readings, answering questions, whatever you want to do.
No, good. If you say no, I'm not doing it, then I guess we're not doing it. So
no,
if anybody has questions, Vicki, please type it in caps in the chat room. Or if you want to mic up. If you want to talk, put your little hand up down in the bottom corner. There's a little hand call, whatchamacallit thingamajiggy. If you look next to my name, you can, oops, I just took it off. You see my little hand up there. At least it should be up there. You see my little hands up there. And Leo's got a happy face. So if you want to ask a question, Vicki, question is, will I win $1 million this week? Glennis, I give you my address. If Vicki says yes.
No.
Okay, Vicki says no, so I'm not giving you my address.
Glennis, you will live like you're a millionaire. You will be happier than money can ever provide for you.
Oh, that's so cool. And she said just there. Yeah, so I've had a couple of I can't say readings from you. I'm gonna conversations with you and from you, and you are always, you give so much, because it's not just like give me $50 and I'll tell you who's here, and you just give it. You just like, here, take this. It's like, even if I say no, it's like, no, Darlene, listen, you don't tell me to shut up, but I can see it in your eyes going, shh.
I just give what Spirit gives me. How's that? Yeah, I'm very fortunate in life that I have an open channel. And so most of the time when somebody asks a question or asks for a reading, their spirits come to me and give me information. And there's several people in the room right now that have people waiting to talk to them. So, we'll see how it plays out. And if I don't really have a message for you, then I'll give you a psychic reading and tell you who's around you and talk to you about your guides or angels. There's always something going on in the world around you.
Okay, come on, let's get some questions in.
Will you read for me?
Mm-hmm. Who is? I don't know who this is, but I will.
It's Glennis.
Oh,
This is Glennis.
okay. Are we on a break, or are we?
No, we're still live. We're still live. We don't break here.
Are you going to do a break, or did you want to go?
If you want to have a break, you have to tell me, and then we'll mute you, and we'll talk amongst ourselves, because I don't have any music or any such thing. But
I thought you said we were going to take a break, and I thought, okay, well, I had put them down. Give me just a moment here.
No, there's no break. What?
Mama Darlene can sing for a while, and that'll be our break. How's that?
Oh, dear God.
Thank you.
Good.
I'm dancing. See, I'm dancing.
Glennis, I can tell you already that your year is going to be more financially beneficial for you this year. You're going to have finances as you need them. You're not going to go without anything this year in 2017. Okay. Christmas is going to be good. It's going to be different than you think, than what you planned, in a better way. It always is better when it doesn't go as planned. Okay, let's see here. What have I got for you, my dear? Ooh. All right, the first thing I want to talk to you about is coming immediately is a celebration, a party, and it's hitting me like a birth announcement or a wedding or something like that. It could be a Christmas gathering or people getting together over holiday time or something, but I'm seeing it as something that's announced that you will be celebrating, and that's going to happen very soon. You need to have more fun in your life. You need to laugh more. And then okay, let's see. Again, I pulled a card for you called the Page of Earth, and it has to do with your patience, dependability, things like that. But basically what this card is telling me, because it is full of growth around it, is good news about financial matters. So there again is what I told you early on about a better financial year for you. And you're really kind of bored right now in your life. You want to do something a little more challenging. I see you studying something to improve a skill or learn a little bit more about something. And so you'll utilize that in the coming year, and it'll be a happier year for you, more fulfilling. Also, you have some brilliant ideas and inspirations around you. You're also, I'm seeing, white Pegasus horse around you. And that to me is telling me you've got a challenging beginning, but this white horse is telling me you see the truth of a situation around you. So try to look at everything as you go into it. Look for the truths and try to be discriminating who you involve yourself with in the coming year, especially the beginning of the year. You also are suffering from this false sense that you have around you of being entrapped or held back, or like you feel like you want to do so much and you can't do something, or you've actually said in the past few weeks, I really would like to do that, but I don't feel like I can, or I'm not up to it. And to me, that's a false sense of entrapment. That's telling yourself, and you're listening to that internal language. So stop doing that. And don't overly focus on material items. Just let it be and let it go. Because what you're doing when you do that is you create this negative energy around you, and it's fear-based, and you're sending that energy out. So in order for money to flow in, it has to flow out. Because remember, if you grab those purse strings to keep from losing money, money can't flow in either. It blocks it. So open up the purse strings a little bit and enjoy your life a little more, laugh a little more, and let that money flow in. Now, I drew a card for you, another card for you, and it's the Page of Water. And it, again, also deals with your intuitive, sensitive, friendly, artistic side. And you have a new person coming into your life in the coming year. And it's a good relationship, and it begins a new phase in a relationship for you. This person's going to help you heighten your psychic abilities. It's going to help you grow spiritually. So it's going to be a good relationship for you. And I know when I say relationship, a lot of people relate that to sexual, love interest, romance. But I'm talking about a relationship with a friend, a partner in crime who's going to help you grow spiritually. You're going to maybe work together and do some fun things together. So probably I'm feeling it's a female presence, so I'm feeling that you're going to make a new friend coming up, and you're going to have a great time together. Remember to laugh more. Remember the balance. You're a little bit out of balance. I would suggest that when you ground and bubble and balance at your center, that you practice seeing yourself equally balanced. Practice seeing yourself holding a scale with work and duties on one hand, and the other hand fun and laughter and things you love to do, and make them balance and focus on keeping the balance, and you'll keep that. And I think that you're going to be able to do that. I see you growing spiritually. I see you growing financially, and I see a really good year coming up for you with a surprise of either a birth or a marriage that you're going to be celebrating. All righty?
Do
you have any questions?
And the scales are my birth sign.
Ah, there you go. Watch your balance. That came out very.
And I think you're spot on. I do need to focus more on what I can do and laugh more, because I spend most of my time at home just talking to myself.
That's good though. That's good though. Sometimes when you talk to yourself, you'll hear your guides answer. And take time, for gosh sake, to sit quietly and meditate. Remember prayers where you talk to Creator, meditations where you listen to Creator, to angels, to guides. They're all there waiting. And remember also, Glennis, that your guides can't step in and help you direct your path more unless you invite them in. And also be sure to thank them at the end of every day and ground more. That's my advice for you.
Exactly. I totally agree. Thank you so much, Vicki.
Okay.
That was beautiful.
Love you. Uh-huh.
Love you too. See you, darling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. What next?
Who's next on the list?
I think Leo has a lot of spirit around him. I don't know this person, but would you like a reading for me, Leo Hallowell? Oh, he's going to dig out a mic?
Yeah, he's going to dig up his mic.
Well, all righty then.
You can always do one for me, Vicki.
I could.
And we also have Christy who put her hand up.
Christy. Who do you want first, Brian or Christy?
Christy should come first.
Okay. Hi, Christy.
Hey, Vicki. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you. Had a real quiet day, so that's always good.
Now, where do you live?
Virginia.
Okay. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was nice, thank you.
Good.
Yours good?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, and yes. And I sent home all the food with my kids when they left. I was like, my little grandson said, can we take some dessert home? And I was like, here's a pumpkin pie and a chocolate pie. Take them out of my house. And he said, can we have some ham? And I was like, yes. I gave him all the ham. And he said, do you have any mashed potatoes left? And I said, here, take the mashed potatoes. And he said, do you have gravy? And I said, yes. And here are the rolls. I just sent it all with them because they had a little mini feast that night and I didn't have to have the calories.
Cool. I can relate.
But I woke up the next morning thinking, ooh, I'd really like to have a good ham sandwich for lunch. And I thought, so we went and bought some lunch meat and had a ham sandwich. But they had a great time.
Sometimes that's just the way things work out.
Hey, it's how I roll, you know. But they were asking, and he's 8, so if he asks for it, he gets it. So I just handed it on over. They left me the cranberries, though.
Now, that's one thing that I can have in the house that I would not have any problems forgetting.
They're so funny. But I actually scored this pumpkin pie at Costco that was $5.98. It was a giant pumpkin pie, and it was wondrous. My daughter-in-law loves pumpkin pie, so I made my daughter-in-law happy this year. And I sent it all home with her. Oh, I love this. Okay, my dear, I have drawn some cards for you. Okay, let me clear myself here. Red fox to your right, a wolf to your left, owl on your shoulder. Okay, got a guide stepping in now, a male guide. Gonna feel a tingle on your right shoulder. He's placing his hand on your shoulder. Got angels, 1, 2, 4 angels with you. You're heavily protected tonight, which is good. You've had a lot going on in your life, have you not?
True.
That's why you've got this entourage of protection around you. The fox is there for you to have a little more fun and be mischievous and lighthearted. It is a spirit animal that's with you probably most of your day and night. The wolf is your protection. It's around you. The owl, of course, is wisdom, and it's also experience in your case. So they're all around you, and they minister to you off and on during the day and especially at night. Remind you, the owl is speaking to me now about telling you to be sure at night when you go to bed to call your angels and guide around you and reground. You're wide open at night, and you do travel when you're sleeping. And that means your spirit travels. They take you places and teach you things. And so you want to be sure you're grounded because you're just wide open at night. And ask them to watch over you and protect you. Be sure and thank them. I drew the Ace of Fire. The Ace of Fire is a card that's talking to me right now about an exciting new opportunity coming your way, career advancement. If you're I'm not sure what you do for a living or if you're retired or what age you are. I don't really know much about you, but I'm going to say career advancement, more money coming into your life, happiness surrounding that, whatever it is you're going to be doing. And it's talking about right now, it's speaking to you about changes in your life. And I'm hearing that old adage, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you got. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they're speaking that for you real strongly. I've also drawn the Knight of Air. It talks about your being very decisive, idealistic, you're tireless, you're very intelligent. And it's talking about this card, when I look at it, it has a lot going on in the card, but what sticks out to me is that, do you remember watching the Flintstones and they would run and the car would go with them, and then when they braked, they'd put their foot out and it'd like, to a halt? Yeah. Your life is moving so fast right now, you feel like you want to put your foot out and brake. Mm-hmm. It's almost like from September to this point, you turned around and it flew by. And you look at it and you're thinking, wow, it's almost Christmas and I've got to get going here. And so they're talking about things occurring around you in great speed, events, not only physical events, but spiritual events, things that are happening, coming your way. So put your brake on, take time to carefully review your options. And you have the source of creative solutions around you. You need to pull that from your guide. You just need to ask him, could you please help me and come up with some creative ideas and solutions to my issues or problems or questions that are presented to you. Then listen to the very first thing you hear and he will be telling you. Do you recognize your guide when he speaks to you, or do you always just think it's yourself?
I usually think it's myself.
He's popping you on the back of the head and saying, listen. You're not, I love this guy. He's saying you're not that clever. Listen to the guide. Listen to the guide. He's telling you what to do. And a lot of times you think it's you and you go ahead and do it. So it doesn't really matter, but I'm telling you and I'm affirming to you it's your guide. And he's just telling me about some things, okay? Now this 9 of Earth card is beautiful. It's a growth card. It has beautiful flowers blooming. It's talking to me about it's time for you, Christy, to enjoy some of life's luxuries. You need to think about something. I want you to make a list tonight. I want you to spend some time alone, and I want you to make a list of things that you can do for you. Things out of the ordinary. Like, do you ever go for a pedicure?
No.
Well, it might be a good time to go. They're like $35. Everybody can spare $35. Ask for it for Christmas. Go get a facial or a massage. Or light some candles, fill your bathtub full of beautiful scented salts and soak in the tub. And add some Epsom salts and you'll be able to get rid of a lot of negative stuff going on around you and energy around you and just let the drain out and see it float away. These are some ideas that I have for you. You need to pamper yourself a little more. You're not being very good to yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have an internal voice that's telling you that it's speaking negatively to you. You need to tell it to stop talking and listen to your guide more and listen to what's going on around you. And be kind to yourself. Okay? Now, you have some successful self-employment also coming around you. Things, ideas you have, ways to make money, those are going to come to fruition in the next year. Also, I drew the 10 of fire for you. It's talking about too much work. You need to delegate and accept help from others. When you have so much housework in your house that you can't get it all done, it doesn't kill you to let go of a little cash and hire somebody to come in and help you. Or if you have children, give them a list. I need you to do this and you to do this. If they don't want to do it, take the charger to their phone and their computer. Don't worry about taking the electronics. Just take the charger. When they run down, they'll have to work to get the charger back. That's what I did. So I'm just saying, think of some ways to get some help. And even if you have to force it a little bit, because you deserve it. You have some things going on in your health. And your life is kind of out of balance right now. So I'm going to tell you what I told the other lady, and that's when you're meditating or sitting quietly in that tub of hot water, is to imagine yourself perfectly balanced and at peace. See yourself relaxed, see yourself stress-free in your mind's eye. Then I want you to go outside tomorrow, and I want you to get one of those little hand shovels or something and go sit out in the yard and dig up a weed or something or plant something or do something that involves dirt and soil because you need, and as you do that, I want you to think of all that negative energy flowing out into the dirt. My grandmother used to tell me to do that. The earth is a wonderful grounder. Also, eat something really amazing. That helps you ground. And the other thing that you can do that's absolutely free, easy to do, and you can do it anywhere, clothed or unclothed, is laugh. Laugh a lot. That helps ground you. You have stress-related health concerns, is what I'm being told. So balance and calming down and relaxing is mega important to you right now. Okay? So I want you to remember that because you're so important. The last card I drew is one of my favorite cards. It's the moon. And it has Archangel Haniel, Haniel, and that's the Texas version of that name. Anyway, the important psychic insights is what this card represents. Events behind the scenes release fears that hold you back. There again, the cards are talking about fears and stress-related things that you have around you. And so that is my reading for you. My guide Solomon reminds me to remind you to listen to your guide and to thank them for intervention because they're definitely intervening on your behalf. If you had any idea what's going on around you, and the holes and the potholes in life that you miss because your guide pulls you out of the way and reroutes you, you would be so amazed and so grateful. So thank them for that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Love you. Thank you, honey. Do you have any questions?
All I was going to say, you were bringing up the stress-related health issues. I'm what you call when I get stressed out, I eat. But do I eat healthy? No. Have I done it for the last 40 years? No. But my body's telling me I can't eat anymore like I used to.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Huh.
Don't diet.
No.
Don't diet. I want you to do something. I want you, when you're sitting in that tub of warm water, soaking and relaxing, I want you to see yourself the way you want to be and ask Spirit to help you get there. And I want you to ask them to help you avoid pitfalls in foods that you don't want to eat, and ask them to take the cravings away. And then try the very next morning when you get up to tell yourself, you know what, today's going to be such a great day and I'm so motivated to do this, and let that be your diet. But the other thing is, the stress-related health issues that I'm talking about aren't necessarily concerning food. Although you do need to drop that because that's a crutch for you. What I'm seeing is anytime you worry and have doubt, you're doubting yourself, and that comes out in stomach issues like ulcers. It can also manifest into heart disease, things like that. So stop it now before it all happens. And while we're talking, your guide is working on cleaning that up for you. And I just asked Brian to help me step in there. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm working on it. Sending you healing energy. You may feel something in your chest area working down. It's just a little warm. And that warmth that you're feeling or tingling sensation, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel that and remember that. Tomorrow when you get up, feel it again. You can draw on this energy whenever you need it. It's always there for you because it's not from me. That's your universal healing mechanism. That's you. And you can always do that. You can always draw on that. You are an incredibly talented, gifted person. You are so beautiful inside, and you just need to realize that. And when you realize that, that's going to come out and it's going to make itself known on the outside. Beauty comes from within. It has nothing to do with the face you were born with, or the nose, or whether or not you've got the big booty or little booty or whatever anybody wants to have. It has nothing to do with all that nonsense. True beauty comes from within, and when people see you, if they relate to you, they see your beauty. And those are the people you want to seek out, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Love you, honey. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Phenomenal. Thank you very much for that stuff. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, next down the list is our Leo.
Leo.
Give him a quick one.
You've got your web camera on. I can see your face. You're blushing. All right. I know. Don't make Leo blush. All right. I know. Okay.
I love my Leo. I'm sorry. What can I say? Okay, now I'm hushing.
Okay, before we start, let me just work on something for you real quick. Okay, you're going to feel a golden light. It's going to come down over your head and around your shoulders. Just close your eyes for a few minutes. And when it's totally encased you, you're going to feel a coolness around your face. Just tell me when you feel that coolness around your face. Like a little breeze.
Leo's got no nights.
It's also a little toasty in here.
Okay, you're fine. What I'm doing is I'm encasing you in a healing, protective energy. Got a little stuff going on around you there in your apartment or your home. You're going to feel tree roots growing out the bottom of your feet, right down through the floor, through the carpet, through the tile, whatever you got there. And it's going right down into the earth. and it's going to ground you to the earth. And I just need you to take a deep breath with me real quick and hold it. And when you release it, don't just let it go. Push it out hard like you're pushing energy out through the bottom of your feet. So we're just going to breathe in now, deep breath. And when you release, just push it out. And all that negative energy is flowing right out of your body, right out into the earth. And it's grounding you. Now we're going to take a deep breath in and hold it a moment. And we're going to release it gently. But this is when you are taking the breath, the earth is pushing good, clean energy back into you. So just take a deep breath now. Feel it flowing up through your legs, up through your body, up through your stomach, up through your chest, right up into your head and those cheeks. And then release. Now imagine yourself balanced on a child's seesaw. Both ends are up and you're perfectly balanced and centered. You're grounded and the bubbled in protection and healing energy. Now I can read you. Okay. You had a little something you brought home from wherever you went today. I'm not sure where you went, if you went to a grocery store or if you went out to eat somewhere, you went shopping or what you did. But you had a little hitchhiker with you. But they're gone now. Okay. Alrighty. So let me see what I've got for you.
I was at work all day.
You were at work all day? What do you do?
I work at Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons? Is that like I'm in Lubbock, Texas. I don't know what that is.
It's like Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, shut up. Oh, chocolate donuts. Chocolate anything. I would probably eat a chocolate bug, but I'm just saying chocolate is my life. Anyway, let's see what we've got here for you. Oh, very interesting. Okay, my dear. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of a wish or a question. Don't tell me what it is, but just think of it. It's got to be a question that I can answer with positive or negative, yes or no. In other words, I can't tell you the name of the 7 dwarfs, but I can tell you yes or no. Okay, so here we go. The first card I drew for you is 3 of air, and it talks about sadness in your life, a great sadness, a gut-wrenching sadness. It's talking about your need to forgive yourself and others and a time to heal. And it's so much around you. This sadness doesn't have to be an event that happened. It can be, but it can also be feelings you have right now surrounding you about yourself or someone else. Do you understand? And it's talking about you wonder sometimes, what did I do that this happened, or maybe it's somebody else that you need to forgive, but the cards are what Spirit's showing me. So that's what I'm telling you. I'm not going to tell you that I know what it is because I don't. But what I'm talking about and what I'm seeing an animal sheltering another animal, and it's like it's showing me a time of sadness where you just need to be gathered in and hugged and loved. And you need to just kind of let that go, let any of that, like for example, growing up or anything that you have hanging on from somebody else where they've told you you're less than or you need help, or even a friend of yours that's done that or something. You just need to kind of let that go and put it aside and accept that happiness is on your horizon. There's going to be some really happy things that happen for you in the very near future. I'm going to talk about in the next month. And I'm just going to say we need to bury that sadness and put that aside because that has no part of you now. Whatever happened in the past stays in the past. It's like Vegas. Okay. 4 of Earth is your next card. Now, here again, I'm seeing an elf with her purse strings held too tightly, being frivolous or too cautious with money. You tend to go from one extreme to the other. Either you want to go out and buy everything, or, oh my gosh, I've got to cut back. I can't spend 1 penny. I can't even buy a drink if we go for a soda or something, because you got to let go. You got to let things flow. So if you're holding your purse strings too tight, not only do you keep things in, but it also keeps things out. So you can't do that. You got to have that balance we talked about. So let that happen. Also, I see gifts coming your way. Funny, because Christmas, but that doesn't have anything to do with Christmas. This is a gift of the sense of spirit gifting you a windfall. And it comes again in the form of finances. I'm going to say in the next few months, you're going to get money coming in. I don't know if you've worked on a project that's supposed to benefit you, or if you're looking at another position, or if you get a raise at work. But I see money encircling you and coming around you. Now, the next card is Eight of Fire. And this card also, like the card I pulled for another person, it's a different card, but it speaks of things moving at a fast pace in your life. Do you feel like sometimes you wish you could just slow down a little bit and say, wait, let's just take a minute here. Things are moving fast. You've had a lifetime of delays, a lifetime of false starts, a lifetime of waiting and trying to be patient, and that's the hardest thing in the world. And I often tell people, it says, and I quote this a lot, I'm not the least bit religious, but I did grow up in I was sent to a church college. I failed. I got kicked out. Okay. But anyway, that's another story, but it's because I wasn't religious. But it does speak things in the Bible about holding on and being patient, being careful what you pray for. The reason that's said so many times in the Bible, be careful what you pray for, is because to get patience, how do you get patience? They send you trials that you have to wait until the outcome. For happiness, they send you sadness so that you recognize when happiness comes and that it's a greater level of happiness. To have, so be careful what you pray for, Be careful when you pray for happiness, or when you pray for money, or when you pray for patience especially, because you don't want to have to go through what you go through to have patience. So watch that. You've had to be patient. Those things are over. I'm here to tell you now. My guide is saying, tell Leo, delays are over. Things are going to start popping and happening all at once. And it's almost like everything that you've made a list of in your mind is going to start happening. All those things that you want to happen in your life. And you're very young, so it's going to be things that involve your youth right now, but it's also going to be some things that are going to take you into when you're older. It's going to carry over into what you create in the future. So it's kind of a good thing. Ace of Water speaks of you falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship, one that's past that comes back. And it comes back with a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, and a lot of passion. Okay, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition. Do you ever feel something's going to happen and then it happens? Or you just have that gut feeling about something and then it turns out to be right, especially if you ignore it? Those types of things are going to become very enhanced around you. So start listening to what you feel. Start paying attention to your gut feelings. Also, I sense around you a new home. I'm feeling right now to see what that means. It means structure, a new home. So, money, a little bit of extra money. It's money that you've earned, a money that you have to, that you've already paid the price for, so it's going to come to you. New home possibly. Love, resurgence of love. Somebody that's coming back into your life that really cares about you. And I don't know if it's a relationship, like a love romance type thing, or if it's, again, a friendship, but I do see this coming. And when it comes, you'll say, oh yeah, She said that was going to happen, so I'd like to hear back from you when that does happen. Now, tell me, let me look at your question here, or did you ask a question or did you have a wish?
You mentioned to say it to myself, but...
Yeah, don't tell me what it is, just question or wish.
Yeah.
Which did you have?
A wish.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Oh, you've got a unicorn with you and a huge, humongous white wolf. Okay. Okay. And a lion. Challenging information because they're around you for protection, delays, and changes to plans. You have a plan, and it's going to be changed up, but the outcome is going to be amazing. The wish will be coming true. It is a positive thing. And I'm going to say to you, look at things from all sides. Look at things from all sides. And the reason I'm adding that is you have Archangel Gabriel around you. And whenever I see that, I always think of the card, the tarot card of Gabriel. And he's hanging upside down with his horn. And what that always means to me, that's my sign from my guide, that it's the person I'm reading for needs to look at things from all sides. Look behind the scenes, under the scenes, around the person, around whatever's around you before you commit to something. But yes, you will get your wish. Okay? Any other questions you want to know about? Because now you have, okay. All right. You've got, okay, who is this in spirit? Okay, you've got a grandmother. And this is going to be somebody on, it feels like your maternal side of your family. Not sure if it's, somebody that you can, connect to or not, or that you even knew in life, but she's around you. Do you see signs? Okay, she's showing me coins. And these are pennies and nickels and dimes in your path. Pennies were prevalent. So I get feathers from my mother, but they're showing me coins laid in your path. When you see coins, you've got your family members around you in spirit. They're trying to let you know they're there, they're with you, know that they're with you. Okay. She's got her purse. Let's see what's in her purse. Sometimes that tells me what I need to know. There's photos of a little girl with long hair. It's an older photo. This is a photo from the 1950s or 1960s, if that makes sense to you. It's probably children or grandchildren she had. And they're somehow related to you, so I don't know. It might have been a picture of a parent or an aunt or uncle. Come on, give me your name, lady. Don't be smart with me. She's got a very, very cutting, like if you offend her, because I said, come on, give me your name, lady, and she said, don't be smart with me. So I'm going to step back a little bit and let her have her space. Okay. She's raising her eyebrow. And she said, you may think that she doesn't approve of things that you do, but she wants you to know she's so very proud of you. You've got like 3 or 4 people in spirit around you that are coming forth. And these are all family members that have crossed over. They're all older people. And so watch for the coins. She's saying, listen to your guide. And I left you a Kleenex. Does that make sense? I only give what they say. I don't have any clue what she means. She left you a Kleenex. Maybe you needed a Kleenex at one point and she's irritated you didn't pick it up or something. Or maybe you were upset. Or maybe you were sneezing. I don't know. Or allergies. Also, what are the bells? The bells, the chimes. Do you have chimes around you? Wind chimes, bells?
I have a phone that was going off.
No. She's talking to me about things away from right there. She's showing me wind chimes. Do you have wind chimes outside or around you at work or something? Or something where you, because she's showing she plays with those. She plays with those. Maybe around one of your family members' homes. This is not doing me any good. Come on, give me a name. M name. I'm going to release her and let her go because I'm not getting anything. The only thing she had in her purse was chewing gum and a Kleenex, so that's not helping me much. She smells like Leo de Tomp cologne, so if that helps you any, nice cologne. It's a French perfume. It's kind of pricey. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. If you have any questions, your guide is standing with you, ready to answer them. And he said they can be direct or not, or no. You also have Diane, the huntress, the guide, that's a guide like Diana in astrology. She appears like that. So, that's wild. You have the most amazing spirit animals around you that I've seen in a while. A lion is very rare. You might want to look up what a lion, and what if I told you a unicorn, a white wolf, all of those spiritual meaning of those animals, and they'll tell you more.
Okay.
You've also heard them and felt their energy around you. You're very intuitive. Okay? Hope that helped you some. Smile. A lot of good things coming your way. And if you think of something, I'll be here for a minute, so. Okay. All righty. So I'm going to move on now. Let me cleanse. Okay. Now, what would you like me to do, Darlene and Brian? Jennifer?
Thank you, Leo, for stepping up. Brian, I didn't mute you, so you should be there.
I was here, honey. I was just going to say, now we have our Scott Stevenson, who would like a reading, please. If you could, Vicki.
Sure.
Scott is just in the chat room. He hasn't so he can hear you.
He can type.
Whether or not he pays attention, no, he pays attention. Doesn't fall asleep.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I won't be able to see him. It probably would help them if they could see me. I don't know.
Yeah, you can cam up.
You want to see me or not?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, before I do, it's Sunday. It's been a no makeup day, and my hair's wild because I was outside, so please forgive all that. I don't know if I can do it or not. Well, you saw me before. You didn't exactly get scared, so maybe I'm okay. Oh, there. No, I am scary, in fact. Okay, so there we are. Start sharing. Can you see me yet?
You have to start sharing. It'll click in.
Okay. Okay. Goodness. Okay. There we go. Here I am in my messy little room. And let me adjust. Okay. Scott, how are you? All right. Let's see. Darlene always scares me when she's on camera. I may be hearing you. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, Scott. Is there anything specific you want to know? Because my guide is saying be specific with him.
Oh, yeah.
Is there an area you want me to look at? Direction. North, south, east, and west. In life and spiritual. Oh, my dear. You're just so naughty. I have drawn the 9 of air. Let me tell you about the 9 of air. I'll hold that up so you can see if I can get my camera in there. See all those little unicorn lying around? Like la da 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 da. All right. Scott, you're somebody that usually expects the worst to happen. You try to prepare for it. You try to avoid it. But in your mind, you're always thinking, this could happen. You even have sleepless nights. I'm not asking, I'm telling you, you do. You wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and can't sleep. Okay. These are self-fulfilling prophecies. Do you understand what that means? All right. Stop it. Okay?
Smack him.
I mean, I could give you some mumbo-jumbo, psychological, spiritual conversation about it, but here it is in a nutshell. Stop it. Stop doing it. It shows a lack of faith in your guides. It shows a lack of faith and trust in them and in the whole thing. So your guides want you to quit it. Knock it off. Okay? That message was delivered. Now you can back up. I'm telling you, your guide is huge. Okay. My next card I drew for you. He called me dear. He doesn't know me very well. Okay, Scott, the next card I drew for you is Seven of Fire. This card is a bold card, and I'll show you. It's got, where are my cards? Okay, where's my, there. Bold colors. You see this angel on the back of a dragon? Can you see that at all? That has those bold colors, and it's like a fierce dragon. This isn't a nice dragon you would want to run into in a dark alley. And it's saying defend your beliefs and your decisions. What it's talking to me about is you need to learn, you've got to stand your ground, but you also need to choose your battles carefully. You don't just go into everything boldly fighting and brandishing your sword. You need to choose your battles carefully, but you need to stand your ground. People are pressing you and pushing you, and sometimes your family and friends are causing you to have to act like you don't believe in something or, you know, you don't want to talk about it. You need to be bold and stand your ground. All right, with that said, now we're showing you're back with the unicorns, my dear. The unicorns are like liking you. Okay? And they're rushing forth. This is the Ten of Air card. And this card basically is representing the end of your difficult situation. So here is embrace the change that's coming. Embrace the feeling of freedom that's coming around you. Expect things to get better, and it will. It's also talking about something in the background. You see all the growth around it? You have such potential, and what it's talking about there is the potential that's in your life, the growth. That means spiritual growth, my dear, and that's what you were asking about. So if you could internally take that card and put it inside you and see and know that's all going on inside you, then that's what you needed to work with, and that's what you need to know. Spiritual growth is coming. Now, okay. Relationships around you, also with this card, are talking about developing to a new level. Now that could be people you associate with spiritually. You could be coming to a new level because you're both moving together into the next level. Also, if you're in a romance situation, that also is coming to a new level. If you're married, you and your wife could be having an awakening in your relationship. You need to also, what it's talking to me, they're looking around. I want you to learn to trust your intuition more. Do you understand? It's like you think something, you think, that's not going to happen. But you have those gut feelings, and you know. Also, you're one of those people that needs to take better care of yourself. You need to reward yourself. You work really hard. You need to reward yourself a little bit and make Scott happy. Okay? And seek that out. Okay, let's see. Goodness. Now we're with Pegasus, Ace of Air. Do you have that card to put up? Ace of Air. Basically what this card is representing on the card, brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing truth in a situation, and a challenging beginning. If you could see the card, you would see Pegasus is up on a cliff, surrounded. And he's like up there. And so that's the challenge. That's where it talks about a challenging situation. That's where it talks about seeing the truth. Because in this card, you can literally see him looking around and everything's evident. Everything's obvious. So he can see the truth as well as the lies. So this is a time for you to be able to see that. Now, okay. You're in a relationship with somebody right now, whether it's business or a partnership or a friendship or love, it's going to grow closer. And I think you know who I'm talking about. There's a need for you to do some forgiving in that relationship. Maybe they didn't measure up or hold themselves to as high a standard as you. You need to let that go and forgive them and move on. People are never going to do what we say. They're never going to be what we think. And they're never going to act like we think they should. It rarely happens. And, okay. You're going to have, in this situation, there's a conflict, and you're going to actually have a positive resolution to that. You're going to be able to come out of it and have that feeling like everything's resolved and worked out, and then it's going to move into a new level. So I hope that you can understand that. Now, I'll ask you again if you have any questions, because your guides, you've got two guides with you tonight. You've got a female guide on your right side that's telling me that that's a primary guide. And then on your left side, you have a male guide that's coming forth that's helping you through a situation right now. They're talking about your spiritual growth, and perhaps they're working with you on growing spiritually and internally through working with you through either meditation or opening up more. You're also a person that needs to remember to ground. You know about grounding. You know about protecting, bubbling. And so you need to do that. Does that make sense to you? Have I hit on anything? Good. Not being able to hear your voice is a real disruptor for me, because I work a lot on people's voice, the energy that comes through their voice. It's okay, but I'm glad that that's coming through on here. That's why I wanted to turn on my camera and show you my ugly Sunday hair and my no makeup face. So now you've seen it. Now you know the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Vicki?
Yes.
He's got this awesome Sean Connery Scottish accent.
Shut up. He does not.
Oh, yes, he does.
He's laughing at you. How do you know that if he doesn't have a camera or a microphone?
Because Scott's a friend of mine.
You what?
Scott's a friend of mine.
Well, okay then. I'll take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. It was an honor reading for you. Thank you so much. Be sure and thank your guides. Again, I will tell you, I'm just the messenger. Thank your guides and angels. You have Archangel Michael with you. I would suspect that's your main angel, your guardian angel, just so you know. Big.
That was great, Vicki.
Big energy. Thank you.
And have we got anybody else to go on the list, or should we carry on with a bit of chat? I think how Vicki's going.
I've got a spirit behind me. I think it's yours, Stephen. Steve. What's your name? Scott Stevenson. Okay. All right. Okay, there's an energy behind me. I'm not sure if it's male or female, but it's very excited, talking very fast in a very high-pitched voice, and they're just like doing this, like, ooh, I can't believe I'm getting through to him. I can't believe I finally get to talk to Scott. Relative not too long past, they haven't been over there very long, been wanting to really talk to you, wanted to just hug you. I'm getting a sense of overwhelming love just to embrace you. They are just embracing you. I'm getting tingles. I don't know if you are. They're embracing me as well. Cool energy. Just so excited. Keep doing what you're doing, is what they're telling me. And they're so amazed at your skills. Okay. There's somebody close to you in your family that needs to go to the doctor, and they're telling you, get them there. Get them to the doctor. They need that checkup. They need to quit putting it off, or they'll end up where they are. That's scary. Okay. Nothing like a good morbid message. Do you have a parent or a friend or auntie or somebody that needs to just get on to the doctor or has had a condition that they've been worried about? Probably. Okay, I want you to get the phone book tonight, Scott, and call all your relatives and say, go get your annual physicals. No. Also, there's somebody that needs dental work, if that makes sense to you. They need to get it soon because it's actually, they're talking about it becoming very infected and having a situation where it's impacted, the tooth becomes impacted and swells, because they're showing me like this face with this giant swelling, and that's very dangerous. And they're saying, avoid that and just go on to the dentist. Is this you? You're not avoiding the dentist, are you? Oh, you're a bad boy. They're shaking their finger. It's either you or somebody very close to you that you care about. Oh, fine. Thank you. Okay. They're shaking their finger. Go to the dentist and checkups so that you don't have that situation occur, because you are really one of those people, you have that potential. Okay. All right. You're also being told, how many pets do you have? Oh, is this something I've hit on? Okay, is it a dog or a cat? Shit, I hate this. Okay. Do they get along with other animals? I see a puppy in your future. I know. I do. I really do. I'm sorry if you don't want one. I see it coming to you. It's a reincarnate of a one that you've had in the past that wants to come back to you. When this puppy comes to you, immediately you'll be attracted to it and know it. You've actually had this animal in the past. They're coming back to you in spirit. Just anything else you want to drag out here for Scott that he's going to hate me for telling him. First I have to tell him he's going to the dentist, and he's going to have a puppy that's going to piddle all over his floor. What else you got? Life is so good right now. Watch your bank account during Christmas. Don't overspend. Don't overspend. Oh, good. I'm glad you feel that way. Keep that energy. Good. It's good. I always tell everybody, great. Better to be a little needy. The more you have, the more people want from you. Remember that. That's bitter. Okay, now I've had a puppy that piddles on you. I've told you to go to the dentist and told you being needy is good. I'm quitting at this point. My guide Solomon steps forward and says, it was nice to meet you and work with you. He sends you blessing and light and thanks you for allowing him to connect to your guide and to you, and he wishes you well.
Thank you, Scott.
Vicki, we also have Diane Jane in the chat room, and she
I know Diane.
Reading.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
And by the way, Scott has this humongous hairy dog. Humongous. It's like a horse. Okay, now I'm shutting up again.
Really, it's called a sheep. You know that, don't you? But if you can't tell the difference.
Well, Jen Young has the sheepdog named Garth that loves me, and whenever we're on the Skype together, Garth has to come and lie down at her feet while I'm talking to her. It never fails. He comes every single time.
This is a long-haired Akita.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, huh. Okay, I'm shutting up.
Okay. After this one, I just need a bit of a break. Do we have very long to go yet?
No, we're almost done. I think
okay, good. We can go. We don't need a break then.
Diane will be the last one, and then we'll close and let you breathe.
He's saying something about a first he must. Oh, Leo said, I must see it. You like seeing me work? My mother used to tell me that all the time.
Leo wants to see the dog. Leo, I'll show you a picture later.
Of course, these cards are for Diane.
Okay, give me a chance, and I will be able to bring him up.
Okay, 3 of Fire is the first one, and then right after that, 6 of Earth.
Sure.
And then Release. Number 13. Okay, Diane, are you making a wish or asking a question to yourself? Okay. All right, so the first card that we've got coming up is the 3 of Fire. This card always talks about abundance and things that look very good. Have patience at this time, and that you can make long-term plans. Now, what I'm seeing in the card, okay, good. First thing I'm seeing, the abundance is, again, the growth around the angel. I'm also seeing these beautiful colors, and in my card, the maroons and the crimsons are standing out so much. This is talking about an abundance, not just in finances. It's talking about, Diane, an abundance of love. It's talking about an abundance of passion, okay? And it's talking about that's going to be embracing you through the holidays and the first of the year. It's going to be talking about also an abundance of opportunities for you to excel, opportunities, things that you've wanted to do coming your way. So that card is all about abundance for you in all things, and that's an excellent card to draw. Now, the 6 of Earth card is about balance, and you'll see why when she puts it up. It centers always around gifts of money and time and effort, career opportunities, and receiving a loan or paying off debts. In your case, it could be either or. I don't know anything about your financial situation, but I'm seeing for you it is a paying off of some debt. Something you owe somebody is going to be able and made available to you. Do you see she's gathering the coins and putting them in her nest? You've gathered your coins and put them in your nest, and you've done your due diligence. So you're going to be rewarded by Spirit. You're going to have some money coming in to help you out. Also, gifts of time surrounding you, gifts of time, people having time for you, time to do things you love to do. And at first you start making time for that, but it's going to be very obvious that you're going to have time around you. Like, have you ever gone somewhere and just wanted to stop time and you got there and found you had all this time? You do that. You're able to, it's called time bending. And you kind of are a master of it. You may not realize it, but a lot of times you're a few minutes late and you'll think, hold time till I get there. I don't want to be that late. And you'll get there and you'll find you just have a few minutes to spare, so you're not really that late at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? And yes, I think you do. All right. Now, okay, so with that said, you little time bender, and that's an unusual skill. We don't talk about that very much, Brian, but that's something Jose also taught us to do. Manipulating time and weather and energy, because it's all energy, isn't it? So you would be a great one to travel or do remote viewing with. So that's interesting. And I love knowing that about you because I can't do that. I'm always just late. Fashionably late. My friends always tell me to do something 30 minutes before it needs to be done, so I'm on time. Okay, the next card that I drew is Archangel Azrael, and it's the release card. It's hard to see, so I'm going to let her see. Did you find it, Darlene? It's a beautiful card. It's this beautiful angel, and release pretty much says it all, doesn't it? And it's talking about you're at the end of a time period, a situation or a phase in your life, and a spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. And so you just need to release it. Let it go. Let all that go. You've done, again, you've worked really hard to do and have and get what you've got. And it's time for you to move on now because you're at the end of a situation that you're in, and it can be bad or good, but it's just a time period. Have you ever noticed how your life's divided up in time periods or in sections where you do this phase and now you're doing this and now you're doing this? Well, you're coming. Yeah. Well, now you're coming to the end of the one you're currently in, and it provides you with a spiritual transformation. Dear God, I almost said sexual transformation. Brian, let me just hold on a second. Okay, spiritual transformation. My bad. Time to move on. Not sexual, spiritual. Dear God, I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't know why, but yeah, the angel didn't say anything about sexual, but spiritual transformation. Now, it's also showing me, do you see behind it, directly behind it, that beautiful light that's coming out? It's sort of like that. You exude that. You just give out that beautiful energy, and the transformation, a lot of it is going to be what you send out coming back to you. All that beautiful energy that you're sending out. Okay. King of Earth. Do you have the King of Earth? What the King of Earth talks about, I love this card, because it is exactly what it says, the King of Earth. It talks about generosity, professionalism, responsibility, and practicality. And it centers around a successful time in your life and confidently accepting opportunities you're offered. And you're going to love this one, Diane. It deals with the Midas touch. Look at him. Could he not be representative of King Midas? Things are going to start popping for you. You want something, you got it. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with finances. Again, it can be centered around finances. It can be considered around love and relationships, friendships, family, that abundance I talked about at the beginning. So all of this is coming into play with that. Now, as far as your card that we drew about your guide is telling me to tell you you were offered something yesterday. That's what they're just telling me. And I said yes, and I got sick. That's okay. It's okay. The sickness will go away. Take what you're offered if it's something you want. The world is your oyster right now. The only card that's better than the Midas touch is the Magician and that Wheel of Fortune that's on that card, where the world is your oyster kind of thing. Well, isn't that a little bit to do? And I'm going to tell you, people think ego always means you think you're all of that in a bag of chips. Sometimes the ego is saying, I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. Because what does that do? You get the same attention from that as you get from having the over-ego, under-ego, over-ego. Find your balance, because you definitely can do this. You're not sure if you want it. Okay. Then what you need to do is take a week and meditate and think about it. Ask Spirit to show you and guide you and give you a sign. And you can agree on the sign, or you can just know that when you see that sign, you say, okay, that's it. That's the sign. That's what they were sending me, and that's what I've been looking for. And that would be my advice to you. Got a lot of angelic energy around you. You've got a huge angel, like as big as your house angel around you that's just taking up the whole space. A lot of good energy. When you go to bed, you're also somebody that needs to ground, bubble, and center. You need to call on your angels for protection, call your guides in for intervention, because you also time travel. You also travel. You've been on the other plane with angelic energy, I would probably say 2 or 3 times in the past month. And what they're doing is teaching you and downloading information that you need. Okay. What I might tell you is before you go to sleep is to ask your guide to help you have recall in the morning. And so when you wake up, you're going to immediately start thinking of all the things. And when you start thinking about them, jot them down or get you a little voice recorder or something, because it might help you remember. I want to personally forget a lot of things. No, I'm just teasing. But anyway, that's something that might help you. Sue or Susan, Susie, somebody, do you have that in spirit? A Sue, Susan? Let me put my glasses on so I can read the screen. It's bright. Okay. In spirit, correct? Because that's who this is with you right now. Okay. Talking about mislaying things. Have you been looking for something that you misplaced? Something you can't find, a key, money, I don't know. They're not being specific on that. But, okay, a paper. Oh, Sue. Okay. She's saying tonight when you go to bed, if you will pray to remember it or ask them to remind you and remember it, that she will tell you. She's also showing me, it's placed in with other papers, other bills, other documents that you have, and it got mixed in. Okay? So you might look through some things that you might have, like I'm always picking up a stack and putting it over here because it's not in that, but it is in that, is what she's showing me. She's also saying, well done looking and picking up signs that they leave you. And she's also asking, okay, on this side, on this plane, did she leave behind a family member that she was ultimately very close to? She just wants to send them love. She just wants you to know she loves you. She's watching out for you. But she wants that person to know that she's with them even when they think she's not there. She watches over them, and not to be sad or not to think of her with any sadness, because she's doing great. She's doing fine. Okay. It's hard to lose your mother. Oh, please don't do this to me. She cries a little for her daughter. She cries a little. So much she wanted to do and be with her for, and she's saying to just let her know she's with her, even though she can't touch her or hold her or even hear her, that she feels her presence. She smells her scent, her cologne, or what she smells like. I'm smelling bread or baking or something, cake or something. But she says she gives those things to her daughter, and when she feels that or senses that her mother is around her. Do you have small children in your family? She says she and another person, I'm showing an older woman who comes to these children. You'll notice them looking and tracking them as they walk across the room when there's no one there. Okay. Pay particular attention to the child. Okay. Because they're seeing spirit. that child that is your grandson is a crystal child. He's not very old, is he? That's a crystal. That's a crystal child. She's telling me it's a crystal child, but I thought crystal children were just being born. But she's saying this child sees and hears spirit. So watch him. Okay. Teach him. She's talking to me of teaching him boundaries and teaching him to protect, to ground, bubble, and center. Very gifted boy. Very, very gifted. Okay. And I'm going to leave you with that. Again, my guide Solomon steps forward and says, thank you. It was an honor to connect to your guide. And thanks you for allowing him to read through me. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you, and thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Diane. I hope that was a lot of help. Solomon, Vicki, you've rocked us tonight. Thank you very much, both of you. I'm hope if you want, you can always come back. You know, you're always welcome here. But it's time to close out our show.
Thank you.
And
thank you for allowing me on.
Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Oh, this was our pleasure. Our pleasure. Brian, say night.
Night, sweetheart.
Say good night, Jan.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. We will see you next week. Don't forget, next week is that unrecordable awesome show, the sneak peek part 2. So y'all be here and don't be late. Don't be like me.
Thank you very much, everybody. Really, really happy day. Blessings all.